Today's date is March 25th, 2012. Today's Fixit project is cleaning the window track, which involves removing the glazing bead and using assorted tools to clean out the track with. I have an old toothbrush, and here's some of my other tools. So I got a small hammer. This duster thing, I use it because it has long plastic, a long plastic brush on it that I can use to help wash out the window with, the window track. My micro mini tool set for my shop vac. A bucket of cleaning solution, and a Phillips screwdriver just to aid in removing the glazing bead. Some people refer to the glazing bead as gasket, but if you ever try to order it, need to look it up online or what have you, it's actually called glazing bead, and it is the rubber strip that goes along the edge of the window. And I've already pushed open my window as far as it'll go. So, and if you look down in there, you can pretty much see all the debris and stuff that's building up. And this is partly why these windows tend to start leaking after a while. Debris builds up in the tracks and it clogs up the drain holes, and it cannot drain properly, so quite often it ends up draining inside your RV, down your wall, or down between the fiberglass wall, between the wood and fiberglass, which causes delamination. And you want to avoid that if at all possible. And this Fixit is not a difficult job, and it will help avoid any future leaks. Okay, so to begin with, I will pry the glazing bead loose with my screwdriver. Once you get it loose, it'll come right along, but it's a little hard getting it loose at first, which is probably a good thing. And I want to be careful not to bend the frame or anything with the screwdriver. There we go. We're getting it loose now. Okay, so I'm going to pull out the glazing bead. You can see how easily it pulls. And we're out. Don't know if the camera's picking this up, but you can see all the dirt and debris that's inside, building up on the glazing bead. It's like that the whole way around. And there's also glazing bead at the top rim, but I can't imagine dirt getting clogged up in there, so I'm going to leave that alone for now, and I'm just going to do the bottom and the side, well, what I pulled out. See if we can zoom in and capture the debris in the track. I have dogs, and this track has built up a lot of dog hair and dirt from dust in the elements. So we will be using our toothbrush and varied brushes. I will first use the shop vac to clean this out with, and my little utensils that go along with it, and you can follow me along on that process. Okay, I have vacuumed the track, and now I'm going to get my toothbrush and run it along the edge inside the track and everything really well. You can see some of the dust breaking up. Okay, so look at my brush. So I've got that done. So now what I'm going to do is blow out the track, put my shop vac on the exhaust mode and blow it out. Okay, now what I will do is clean off my brush, and I have some cleaning solution that, I need to put the glazing bead in the cleaning solution and let it soak. So, and then I'll put my brush in the cleaning solution and just wash the track down. So here is my cleaning solution, and I just use a basic household cleaning type product. Mine happens to be Mr. Clean, but you can use anything you prefer, I suppose. I just wouldn't use any kind of bleach. I think bleach would break down the components of the rubber. So I'm dropping my glazing bead into the water. I'll let it soak while I wash the frame out with my toothbrush. Okay, so my brush is wet with the cleaning solution, and I will just, you can see already picking up all the dirt that's corroded in there. So I will continue to do this until I get this entire frame cleaned. And I also have this vent duster type of brush that I bought to clean my vents with. The bottom is a plastic brush, which I can also dip that bottom in and get into that track, get into the deeper part of the track to clean it as well. So I will continue cleaning this and we'll move on. One of the things is we have several little holes, drain holes in here. Don't know if the camera's picking it up or not. I'll just go slowly across the frame. There's a hole. There's a hole. Do you see the difference of where I've kind of cleaned and where it's not been cleaned yet? There's a hole. And there's a hole. And then we have a drain hole down in this part of the frame. And there's one on this end as well. And then when you go on the outside of the frame, there's also a drain hole here and a drain hole here. Last year I replaced all this glazing bead on this end, and that track got cleaned out then, so it should be okay. One thing you want to make sure of is that all those holes that I just showed you are clear and clean and free of any kind of debris, as well as the track. You want it all cleaned up. Okay, now I'm cleaning the outside track. You can kind of see through this hole here. You see the brushes go past it. So that part of the track needs cleaned as well. It'll be all nice and super duper clean. Then I'll clean the glazing bead and we will let it dry and reinstall it. Okay, so here is our bucket of cleaning solution. The glazing bead is inside of it. What I will do now is take my toothbrush, move my other tools, and just start scrubbing. And I will do the entire thing. There's a ridge here, a track, ridge here, and then the inside ridge, and the entire thing. You want it all cleaned up. So I will work on that next. Okay, now I've got my glazing bead all nice and clean. No dirt on it anywhere. Tracks all look good. So I will dry it with a towel and start to reinsert it. Okay, so I have closed my window. I put a towel over my window just so I don't accidentally crash into it like I just did the wall. I've got this one trouble spot here. Okay, it's not going to pop in. I will have to pull the bead off once again. Oh, I probably shouldn't have pulled it off the whole way. I could just fix that one spot, but I will. For some reason it wasn't lining up right. So we'll try this again. Pop it in there. I just don't want to get my hands and my arms in the way. There we go. I don't know why this one spot is just giving me such a tough time, but it is. There we go. As you can see, you can just pretty much push it in. There we go. Now it's going in. Okay, we're there. Didn't even need the hammer. Okay, so we got that in. And as you can see, you could do it without the hammer. The hammer just helps me get it along easier. So here's a little hammer. But you kind of have to twist it just a tad and pop. So, yes, there's a big gap right there. All I have to do is just slide the bead over here as tight to the corner as I can get it. And I will continue on until I get the whole thing popped in. So as I go along, I'm just lining it up and pressing it in, but I am finding the hammer is an aid to me because I don't have enough pressure on my fingers. So as I have it lined up, it's easier for me to tap it with the hammer to get it to pop back on the frame. Okay, so this is how to fix your windows. Clean the track, take the bead off, clean the track so that you'll open up the little drain holes and the windows will drain out properly. Up here in the very corner, I do have a gap. But you'd rather have the gap at the top of your window rather than at the bottom corner of your window, because the water is going to be hitting down your window, draining into there, and it needs to come out this little drain hole. It needs to be able to come out these drain holes when it gets inside the track. So there you go, replacing glazing bead 101. And if I cannot find any glazing bead, I don't want to buy, you have to buy it by the foot or yard or something, but you have to buy so much and all I need are little pieces. So I will, if I cannot find this type at a salvage yard or whatever, I might just fill that in with black caulk in the meantime. So the job is finished. I will know when it rains again. Well, this window wasn't leaking anyhow, so that's preventative maintenance on this window. My kitchen window does leak, so I will be doing the process on the kitchen window. This is my picture window over my sofa, and I did it last week. It was leaking, so this was kind of my test window to see how it went. The day after I fixed the window, we had a thunderstorm. It poured down rain, and fortunately I can claim success. No more leaks. So keeping the window tracks cleaned is part of preventative maintenance.